Guys, what is up? Here's today's Not So Wyckoff Wednesdays episode. I'm going to be going over a trade I took on Euro USD today. I'm going to cover a little bit of the structure, and I'm genuinely going to try to make this a 5 or 6 minute video. So, looking at the 4-hour structure, we can see we're clearly making lower highs and lower lows, right? Here's a lower low, lower high. This high produced this low, pull back, this high produced this low, this high produced this low. Now, here's our bullish leg to the upside right here. And we have this, right? If we pull from body to body, 78.6 lines up with the origin of the move. So I want price to come down into here. So let's see what we're doing on the lower time frames. Right. So let's see. 30-minute, right? Making higher highs and higher lows. So this low produced this high, this low produced this high, this low produced this high, this low produced this high right here. Sorry. Oops. Produced this high, right? And then we pulled back and produced this high. So there was actually a trade opportunity right here. Kind of mad that I just completely didn't even realize it, but it is what it is. You can see mitigation. My target would have been right somewhere right in here. You could have stretched it down into this inefficiency right here. It would have been a 1 to 47. Really beautiful trade where you can see break a structure, pull back, leg down, pull back, leg down, right? So what do? We're going to mark up the origin of this move. This leg down, the origin is all the way up here. It's really clear on the 45-minute. So you can see if you take this on the 45-minute, tapped right into it, right? So for me, we tap into the 45-minute candle, and we're going to drop to the 5-minute. So we've built our narrative, right? Higher time frame, we have this entire leg, but within this entire leg, we had this smaller time frame structure that we broke here, produced a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So we pull all the way back up into the origin of this down leg, right? And what happens? So we pulled up into that level. And then if we look at this structure, so within this leg, there's obviously structure, right? You guys can see that. Let me get rid of that. So there's obviously structure within this leg to the downside that we clearly end up breaking, right? So we break it here, trade above, boom, pull back, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, goes below, goes back above. So I would just simplify this and say, this is, sorry, this here is the high, pullback, high, pullback, right? I accidentally got rid of that. You can see pullback here, right? High, pullback, we don't close below, we wick below it, push up, so this is a higher high, right? Now what do? We trade below it, which tells me that any demand within here was invalid. So we should be looking for price to short off, right? We traded into a higher time frame POI, aka this 45-minute candle. We broke structure, right, with this leg to the downside here. This is just one leg to the downside. Where's the origin of this leg? The origin of this leg is within here. It's buy to sell. So price trades up into that. And so when I sent the trade to the group, my target was initially here, but I actually, while I was monitoring price, saw that it did this. So I closed here. The original trade actually did end up missing the entry, which really sucks, but it is what it is. I'm going to go into here and add the negative 61.8 so you guys can see. Look at that. So what do? We trade into the origin of the leg that broke structure. I see that we had all this liquidity ran out, so I just wanted an intraday play down to this level. Really, it should continue down lower because this is the high, low, high, low. You expect a high here and a new low. So it should head lower, but again, I was just expecting an intraday push down. So what do? We trade into the origin of the leg that broke this higher low that produced a higher high. So we break below, which says that we're bearish and that whatever demand was in here is likely not going to hold. I mean, it didn't hold. So that tells you the intent is not bearish. So we trade into the origin of the move. We go to the 1 minute time frame. What happens? We had, this is a pullback leg up into the origin. What do we get? Boom, boom, high highs and high lows. Most recent low that produced the high broke. Now we trade up into the origin of this leg. It's all fractal. If you guys haven't noticed, this is happening on every time frame. The idea of breaking structure and retracing to the origins of moves. So you guys can see we break below here within this pullback leg into the higher time frame origin. We trade up into the origin, break structure. And now where's the origin of the move of the leg that broke structure? For me, it's really this whole thing here, but you can see last buy up before the sell off, and it almost took me out of my position. It barely missed stop because I put it above this wick here, not this one. So barely missed my stop. And then I ended up taking my complete position off because, again, initially I had it here because this is the candle that actually ran liquidity. But if you go to the 5 minute, I was monitoring price, and on the 5 minute, it started reacting off here. So I closed. It is a nice to 1.7 intraday. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is just a little breakdown showing you guys kind of how I looked at this, and we will speak to you all in our next video. As always, if you like this, share it, and we'll speak to you all soon. Bye, guys.